أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم صلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Now, this verse, let's read the verse and I ask you a very simple question. There's nothing difficult. So, who would like to read the verse in Arabic and somebody else in English?
ضرب الله مثلا رجلا فيه شركاء متشاكسون ورجلا سلما لرجل هل يستويان مثلا الحمد لله بل أكثرهم لا يعلمون.
So, the translation, anybody?
God set forth a parable. A man who has for his master several partners, all of them at a variance with one another, and a man depending wholly on one person. Can these two be deemed equal as regards their condition? All praise is due to God alone, but most of them do not understand this.
This is a verse from the Quran. And when you read it, what do you get out of it? You are reading the Quran, and this is the verse. And this is an example. Do you feel that it's a very simple example? From one aspect, it looks very simple. God is telling me an example, giving an, it's a parable, but it's an example. It's an example. And there are two men. One of them has several masters with divergent expectations. The other one has one master with one clear mind saying, do this, don't do that. And the man obeys them, follows them. And the conclusion is all praise due to God. And but people don't understand this. Well, you say, come on, there's nothing difficult to understand here. So, of course, we will come to our subject, but what is the significance of it? What do you make out of it, out of this verse? What is the purpose of the Quran? Think about it. Why does God tell me this? The question. And what do you make out of it according to the purposes of the Quran, so that I will have a comfortable conclusion? I'll continue. Yeah, I will have a comfortable conclusion, and I will have a peace of heart. If the verse is talking about slaves and the masters, come on, slavery period is long before demolished, especially in Islam, more than 1400 years it is demolished. Now, it was demolished till just 14 years ago, as if, but it is 1400 years ago, it's demolished. So what is it talking about? What do you make out of it? You wanted to?
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much, but I just simply, I guess I would say it was about polytheism versus monotheism.
Good point. Excellent point. So symbolizes polytheism versus monotheism. Very good point. So Quran speaks with a very simple language. Doesn't make anything difficult at all. When Quran speaks, because he speaks to everybody. He doesn't speak to academics. It speaks to ordinary people. Most of them didn't know how to read and write. Even we think that we know how to read and write, but we don't know how to read and write in terms of investigating and questioning the reality of existence. We are illiterate there. We are not taught really how to question the existence, the purpose of existence, the quality of existence. You may be an expert on some subject, but some people may be using their brain and trained in reasoning, but our reasoning always remains within the world, within this universe. We cannot go beyond it because we are not trained. Some people might have heard something from the tradition, from their own tradition, maybe Jewish tradition, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever background they have, some people are religious or spiritually minded, so they have this kind of understandings, this kind of approach. They talk about this kind of things, and the man, if this man is a modest man or with no real obstinacy, it is possible. Why should I say no? Well, okay. And some people say, okay, since it is possible, since it makes somehow sense because everything is wonderful, so there must be a God. The religion means God, fundamentally, basically. So carry on their life according to their understanding of or knowledge of religion, but they don't reason about the matters related to religion. They don't question, they don't challenge. Why do I believe that? Why do I follow this? Why do I confirm that? How can I confirm that? Our heart may be confident in the affairs of this world, related to this world, but mostly our heart is artificially convinced in matters related to belief system, mostly borrowed. They say, but seems to be fitting their human qualities. Seems to be. So not rejecting, not denying, replace belief, confirming. So we think that we have a satisfied, comfortable heart in our belief because we don't feel confident in our belief. We just said it must be right. It's my religion. My religion is better than the others. We compare them. So if you really look at some literature, very commonly used literature, for example, the Christians blame or criticize the Muslims. They say, you are the people who believe in God who has a sword. Muslims believe that you are the people you say that God is good and love, but in fact you are lost in the world. Blame each other. It means at least what I follow is better than yours. But it doesn't mean that what I follow is really correct, regardless of the title. Because I am confident. That is lacking. So Quran says, let's come to the Quran, the methodology of the Quran. Quran speaks at a very simple level, but expects the leader, according to their capacity, to use their power of reasoning or human qualities in order to expand it and confirm. Because if someone, for example, reads this verse, says, there are two men. The Quran says, Allah, God, gives this example. There are two men. One of them has one master, multiple masters with different purposes, aims. The other one has one master. Excuse me, I have no master. I'm free in my life. I have nothing to do with you. Bye-bye. Yeah, it seems to be irrelevant. But when you take the Quran speech as my creator is speaking to me in order to guide me to realize, to teach who I am in this world. What am I going to do in this world? So what is the point in this? As our friend said, to a man with two masters represents polytheistic idea, but of course a problem. It is not wrong. There is further questions that the other one represents monotheistic idea fundamentally. So monotheist means the universe has been created by an absolute being who designed with his wisdom, knowledge, power, everything at an absolute level. Polytheist means attributing not necessarily 2, 3, 4 gods. No. Everything has a divine quality in its own intrinsic nature to decide what to do in this world. There is no in between. Either there is one creator who is not of the nature of this universe, or every single being is its own creator in its own decision-making authority. Every single being. Can you imagine anywhere in between? Anywhere in between? Either everything is, if you like, God, or there is one absolute creator, or the universe in its entirety, every single thing is God. Because in order to exist eternally, you've got to be your own creator. You've got to be. If you are eternal, it means you are eternal. If you are eternal, you are absolute. Because no limit for eternity. You are absolute. If you are absolute, you are bound to know everything, take a right position, and also in a contradictory position. Why is it contradictory? The polytheism is not, the word is easy, but to understand why is it contradictory? We see that every particle is acting as if independent, but at the same time, as if taking notes of every other particle so that they will work in harmony. What does it mean? Are you absolutely free to make the decision, or are you absolutely subjective to anything else other than yourself? The universe is like this. It's a very wonderful, very complicated, but very perfect order we observe in the universe. And it is itself, the universe itself, directly points that no one else can command my existence but the one who creates the whole universe. That's why multiple masters gives us the very simple example in order to understand that who is making something, I don't know, whatever you think about it, in the universe. What do you think? Give me an example.
Looking.
For example, it's a very simple thing. Every day, a bird. No. Well, an animal, a cat, for example. Now, how do you explain the existence of the cat? Either there is a creator who created the universe, within the universe created the cat, or every particle within the cat decided to come together and construct the body and the qualities of the cat themselves. How? By agreeing with each other, communicating with each other, deciding what to do next to each other, how to be, how to come into existence and carry on their existence, sustain their existence, and decide how their future will be. The particles, I'm not talking about even the brain, the great brains of humankind. No, particles. There are two options. As the Quran says, one of them is very simple, the other one is impossible to approve for human reason. Very simple. It's amazing. Quran's description, Quran's presentation seems to be very simple. Yeah, simple. But we don't know, we don't really think in these terms. That's why we keep questioning. And mostly, practically speaking, now I left the Quran here. Practically speaking, what is happening in our life? Because I think this is a sensitive subject. No one should really see that I'm blaming that people are ignorant except me. So God forbid. Yeah. For example, what we do, we use our human qualities in order to learn what is going on in the world, especially within our field of interest or profession. Learn. And we train ourselves there. But when it comes to religion, we inherit. We hear. We imitate when it comes to religion. And then, of course, we don't know, we don't have a satisfied heart about the fundamentals of religion. What we do now, we start talking about the religion as it is represented by human beings with their completely ethnic culture. But it has a religious color in it. It has nothing to do with religion if you are really, really careful about it. So the culture is not consistent within itself. Culture is local, culture is human, culture is made up thing. According to me, this is good, this is bad, because I have heard this, and in our family, we can never do that. My father or my mother, or especially your mothers, get crazy if you are going to get married with a person who is not expecting to be his son-in-law or daughter-in-law. So it's the way that she expects for the future according to her own culture. So, of course, it doesn't make sense. People start criticizing, in reality, culture under the title of religion, because every culture gives it color, dyes its legitimacy by attributing it to a something transcendental, something divine source, divinely inspired source, in order to gain legitimacy. That's made up stories. So we find ourselves in a very difficult position. Shall I deny this man and what they say and throw religion altogether? Or shall I blindly say, okay, you are a good mom, whatever you say must be true. So I'm going to follow what you said. And of course, the mom says to them, okay, get your job, never drink alcohol, don't go to the discos or something, and and pray also. Religion comes there. Mixed up, everything. So in practical life, what they do doesn't make sense because it is not the correct base. It doesn't have a correct base. You don't know the base of it. It doesn't make sense as it stands out there. Someone says, don't drink alcohol. Why? It's prohibited in our religion. Okay. Why? Because, it is very harmful. I heard some doctors saying that wine is good for you. What shall I think? Yeah? What shall I think? Because there is no reason explain to them, to the people, what is the reason behind certain actions according to the teachings of certain religion. Because the belief foundations are missing. The hearts are not satisfied. So we start arguing about the outcome of it. We don't know. Mixed outcome also is mixed. Mostly, that religions are all religions and always have all together institutionalized and institutionalized and owned by the community culture, owned by in our community. For example, we belong to Muslims from some certain part of the geography of the world, and clerics, authority. Not only in Catholicism it works. No, in every religion there are clerics. So these clerics say, clerics, am I confusing the word? Yeah, these people say, this must be so according to our religion, you have to do that. And those men or women, but usually men, hears this, and then goes home. Everybody must do it. It must do this because according to our religion, it must be like this. Why the man authority told me like that? Not himself. He doesn't know. Although he may be given one or two reasons because the Prophet said so, there is an hadith or there is a Quranic word, but they don't know that this is the interpretation of that man according to the communal culture. But this communal culture may be small community in your, quarter, or the communal culture may be related to Indian culture or Bengali culture, Turkish culture, community culture. Maybe it becomes a Muslim world culture. I didn't say that. I know what I missed. They were waiting for Egyptian culture. I said it, you see. You see, why did they laugh? No, okay. We have to say, no, without, I love Egyptians, so I have to really stone them. Because the Egyptians are waking up now, slowly, inshallah. Slowly, slowly though, but waking up, the sign of waking up is good. Thank God. So, when we read the Quran, we are bound to read the Quran in order to establish our foundations of the foundations of our belief system. Belief system. Whatever it says. Well, Quran mainly doesn't really emphasize on the practical side. But the Quran emphasizes that you have to practice your belief, but doesn't give detailed explanation. The Prophet presents the detailed, not really detailed explanation. You have to work on it, but the main purpose of the Quran is to establish the foundations. So we have to read the Quran especially in order to educate and train ourselves in order to establish the foundations of belief. Nothing to do with culture. Neither the Quran has anything to do with Arabian culture. That is the most important, striking part. Why Arabian culture? Because it was sent in the Arabian language, and to the first to the Arab culture, some sort of Bedouin desert Bedouin culture. So unfortunately, in the history of Islamic commentaries or the Muslim commentaries on the Quran, concentrated on understanding the Quran by interpreting or trying to analyze the meanings of the words of the Quran within only the time of the prophetic century. This is very important. It must be only a starting point. Unfortunately, it didn't remain as a starting point. No, it didn't start as a starting point. Then look, the Quran was speaking to the people that time, and he was speaking to their language, with their language within their own cultural structure. Now it is coming to me right now. For example, the very simple example I give. Very simple example. I remember giving this example maybe more than once, twice, maybe. The Prophet used to eat a lot of dates, love dates, right? Of course, there are two ways of understanding this practice. One is you have to eat dates because it is the habit of the Prophet, right? He used to eat it. Or in other ways, look, Prophet used to live in a climate where date was the main production, agricultural production of that age. So you have to eat the main production of your climate. The concept changed. You see? So understanding the Quran within the context of its own first period of revelation was extremely, if you like, harmful. Not only wrong, but harmful. What are we expected to do that? We have to see the context of the revelation and universalize it. That is the, if you like, number one article of the Constitution of understanding the Quran. Universalize it. As our friend here did, this Quran is not talking about men. The Quran is giving a very simple example, the difference between monotheism and polytheism. But of course, we are not using polytheism in the sense the philosophy, the discipline of philosophy uses it. Because polytheism means here really total materialistic secular philosophy. We look at the universe, explain the existence of the universe within its own self. We don't need anything else. We don't have to refer to any transcendental source. It is prohibited. So I always see that these people are really, how do you say, not letting somebody to breathe. How is it called this? Suffocating. They are suffocated, their human qualities, within the universe itself. I don't want to go out. But it cannot happen. No. For example, they want to study how the laptop came into existence. I said, okay, I'm going to jump into the laptop, investigate it, get a microscope, everything, and try to explain its existence within the parts of the laptop machine. But if someone comes, the prophet's mission is this. But the mission of the prophets is really this. Look, man, the parts cannot make its whole, because the whole is made up of the parts. There is an engineer, conscious will behind it, preferred to exist in this way. No, 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 no. I cannot go out of it because I'm studying the laptop. If you say that's another logic, but I don't say it is a logic. It's obstinacy, and it is just purposefully trying to deny that this universe at least might have come into existence by the power, qualities, whatever the qualities, knowledge, will, wisdom, providence, whatever, or a one who gave existence to it, because you cannot explain the existence of the laptop by itself. Impossible. It's a conscious product, and there is no consciousness within the laptop. It's so simple. So when you look at a cat, it's wonderful. And you cannot really attribute the existence of the cat to its particles. You cannot. It's a human being. What a human being. It's so simple. Unfortunately, they conditioned themselves that they are not going to give any chance. I'm not saying they have to confirm it, prove it. No, giving any chance to the possibility that the message they receive from the prophets, those people who call themselves the prophets, employed or messengers of God, employed by God, and God told me that this is the guidance how to study the universe. They say, no, we are not going into stupid theology, because they are angry with institutionalized religion, with the authority in the religion, how they exploited the innocent people. Maybe Pope, maybe a sultan in wisdom case, maybe another king of an emperor. So they are working together with the clergy. They say these people are really using religion or any religious notions in order to make the people, how do you say, dumb or opium. Use the religion as an opium to manipulate them, to control them, to exploit them, which is the case in history. We have to admit, we have to be brave enough to say that religion mostly exploited by the religious authorities, those people who claim to have the authority. Yeah, clerical, I'm having a trouble. Sorry, clerical authority. Sorry, clerical. You are supposed to correct me now. You're the lady, thank you. Okay, clerical authority. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't listen to any authority or teacher. No, if he's a teacher, he shouldn't use the authority over me. You know, if you come to a class where you are a student, but I'm going to listen to you and I'm ready to listen. Okay, the teacher, so-called teacher, comes here and say, whatever I say, repeat after me, memorize it, confirm it. Is it a teacher? He or she? It's an authority. What is expected from a teacher is exactly we see in the life of Jesus, as far as we know history, in the life of Moses, in the life of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon all of them. So I don't have to repeat every time, times I repeat. So Multiplication, use it. So they taught the people around them. They educated them. They didn't use the authority saying that, obey me, follow me, whatever I say, don't question, like a military general or commander. They never used that. They were teachers. But unfortunately, in the course of time, religious authorities became really authority, not teachers. Issuing decisions, rulings. It must be this way. It must be that way. You shouldn't do that. It's wrong. You should do that. We have to do that. The issue, not explaining as a teacher. Why? So the Christians take Christianity for granted. Muslims take Islam for granted. Jews take Judaism for granted as their ethnic religion. So that became the main source of disease among the people, and the new generation find themselves bewildered. What shall I do? Shall I deny it? Shall I confirm it? Denial is horrible, saying that the universe has no purpose, life has no purpose, it happened to be like this, and this whole universe is happening by itself, eternally. It doesn't seem to be so at all. That is correct, and that's easy to reject the false idea. But what needs to be elaborated, worked on to confirm the belief? To confirm the belief so that your heart will be satisfied. Otherwise, you will never have a heart satisfied. Heart in religion, you will say, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Hopefully God will reward me. If there is an hereafter, I will be on the safe side. If there is, as the religious authorities say. Me, I don't know. That's what they say. And I believe they are good people. Yeah. Okay? They always ask for money. Mostly. Support the best. Okay. Okay, now, before we move on, let's move on.
So the last part of the verse, but most of them do not understand this. Most of who?
Human beings
And
don't understand.
yeah,
It means
I mean, by choice, or is it because? I mean,
no.
I mean, this is it's sort of like the God is saying most of them don't understand this, but you created us, so.
Okay, I understood. No bother. Because there are also تسبح له السماوات السبع والأرض ومن فيهن ولكن لا يفقهون تسبيحهم. You understand this verse? But they don't understand how everything in the universe glorifies God, the Creator. It means announces God, declares God. Everywhere I am the sign for His existence. But they don't understand. It means the Quran says most people don't understand. Watch out. If you don't use your human qualities, you will not understand either. Watch out. It means think about it. It means contemplate about it. Otherwise, if you just take it for granted, you will never understand what the Quran is talking about. Got it? Got it? Calling. It is a call to understand it, to use your human qualities. Otherwise, yes, if you don't use your human qualities, you won't understand. For example, I give you an example. Those people who come from Muslim background, Muslim family background, okay? Those people who go to the Friday prayers, who are they? Continuously, almost never misses Friday prayers. You, okay. Think about it. For how many years you have been going? You have been listening to sermons, the sermon. Khutbah.
How many years?
Yeah.
25.
25. Okay. Have you ever heard any sermon talking about this verse? No. You understand?
I actually have to look it up because I don't remember the years.
Yeah. You understand how dramatic the Muslim intelligentsia is following? It's horrible. It's horrible. It is a disaster for Muslim community. This is the Quran. This is the very simple thing that you cannot say that the people don't understand it. It's very simple. Common people must understand from this parable. Quran speaks with parable. Jesus spoke with parables, so that everybody will have no excuse that they don't understand. You can go and cry for 25 years. If I ask you some certain subjects, you will say, every week we hear this. But when it comes to the fundamentals of belief, no one talks about it. That's why hearts are irritative, hearts are not satisfied. When anything happens in the practical life, which is performed in the name of religion, everybody says that, you know, there are some terrorists, we are not from them, we don't support them. Who are they? They say they are Muslims. None of my business. Here is the verse. Here is the verse. Do they know what? Do they ever mention this verse as a Muslim? Here is the Quran. I have nothing to do with that. Why should I bother? No, the Muslims must speak up. Yeah, our president says, must speak up against these terrorists. Why should I speak up? They have nothing to do with me. Why should I speak up? Why should I be an apologetic person? I have nothing. Why should I seek for forgiveness or excuse? I have nothing to do with them. But they say they are Muslim. Go and speak to them, not to me. I have nothing to do with them. It's stupid. I'm sorry, Mr. Obama, but it's stupid. Unfortunately, this is the reality. So when you start being apologetic, you are owning, taking them into your circle, saying that these are the cancerogen cells in our body. We don't want it. They are not in our body. They are not. For example, if there is every day there is a killing or murdering in New York, at night after 12 o'clock, after we go home, sleep, there is something happening there. See also maybe outside of Manhattan. Okay. Does anybody stand up and give us an apologetic speech? And look, these people have nothing to do with Christianity. Do they say this? Are they expected to defend themselves against them? These murderer people, murderers, yeah? No one is saying, because that's a human mistake, not a my business. Have you seen any church representative standing up in the media saying that, well, these people are our cancerogen cells, we reject them? No, they said, no, they haven't been educated in Christianity. They were not Christians. I don't know whatever they are. I have nothing to do with them. Bye-bye. I have nothing to do with them. Why should I have something to do with the terrorists or this kind of people? I don't know what they. But the mistake is within me. I never taught. or we don't hear. This kind of verses have been really presented, and the new generation have been educated under the guidance of these verses. That is our mistake. It is time to wake up and educate ourselves. Otherwise, we won't get education of the Quran. Maybe some people talk about the lexicon meanings, dictionary meanings of certain words, and make some grammatic explanations. But the fundamentals of belief has not been really widely studied. Not necessarily in Muslim communities, no, in the world. Speak to people. When you speak to people and make them feel comfortable in their heart as far as their belief is concerned, not action. Action is the fruit, the production or produce of the belief. If an action is not the produce of the belief, what is that? It's a secular action, whatever it is. Get it? Any questions so far? Any? Okay. The second. I'll go a bit quick, hopefully. Now we established the better, how the Quran. Anybody? Can anybody read Arabic? Ladies or friends? No? Can you read Arabic? So, okay.
انظر إلى آثار رحمة الله كيف يحيي الأرض بعد موتها إن ذلك حي الموتى
لم يحيي الموتى
وهو على كل شيء قدير.
Yeah, it is the English translation. Can you? Do you know how to read English?
Yes.
Okay, let's see.
Look then at the signs of Allah's mercy, how He gives life to the earth after its death. Most surely He will raise the dead to life, and He has power over all things.
So, why did I select it out of maybe thousands of verses, this kind of verses? Just to show some snaps of how the Quran really speaks to everybody, common people, at a very simple level. Very simple level. Now, the verses look. Okay, where shall I look? I cannot look at the sky and see the throne of God above the sky, something like that. Impossible. What shall I can look at around me. Look, okay, I'm looking. Okay, where shall I look? The signs of God's mercy. Whatever I see, the book says, the text says, it is nothing but God's mercy. You cannot attribute it to anything else. But the one who created the world mercifully created it. So you have to see the traces of mercy in the existence of everything. Particle, atom, molecule, cell, or the earth, the water, I don't know, the weather, the stars, or whatever you think. And also the motion of the order of the universe. The sun is moving, the moon is moving, the stars are emitting light. So what's going on? These are the mercy of God. It means, hidden meaning is, Quran always challenges. Challenges what? Not the people. Although sometimes in the language of the people, because he speaks to practical terms to the people, he says the unbelievers, mushrikun, polytheists, deniers, but we should never localize the purpose of the Quran to certain kind of people only. Their ideas, what idea, what understanding, what belief they have, so that this belief make them unbeliever or polytheists or atheists or Christians or Muslims, Jews. What is the foundation of it? We have to always look at the foundations. For example, if someone says, you know, these engineers, it means those people who study engineering. Not those people, you. If you study engineering, but you may agree, you may not disagree, but here in the language of the Quran, you agree with it, you confirm it. That's why you are an engineer. Otherwise, you disown it. And said, I'm not an engineer, but I don't agree with engineering. Disown it. If you own it, it means he's not speaking about you. He's speaking what makes you as an engineer. That's the Quranic methodology, if you like. If someone doesn't take this method into account, I claim this, you cannot understand the Quran. Impossible. Because you are personalizing it, you are individualizing it, you are speaking about the people, not their ideas or belief. Quran teaches belief system. When he says for example, let's say, don't take Christians as your friends. What does it mean? What does it mean? No, whatever.
Don't take their ideas.
Yeah. Don't make the Christian idea. What makes a person a Christian idea nowadays? Not Jesus' teaching. We know that the Christianity nowadays has nothing to do with the teachings of Jesus. It's interpretation of certain people. Yeah, Sample's teaching mainly. Okay, so we go there and see this is the idea made the people, if they approve it, if they confirm it, I don't agree with this idea. But if a person may say, I'm a Christian, okay, I believe Jesus is such and such, there is no, it's not our subject, and we are not here to criticize Christianity or something. No, if you want to criticize something, I think we have to criticize the Muslims first, for many reasons. So we are not here for this purpose, you know. But you say, wow, this is the Christian idea which makes people say and behave in this way. I don't agree with this idea. But the man may do a lot of things nothing to do with Christian ideology. So don't judge about the people. Do you understand? So, what are we going to say? Sorry? The signs of God, we were coming there. Quran is challenging, but challenging not the people, challenging the attitudes of the people, challenging the ideology of the people, their belief. Challenging their belief, if the belief is not well established or correct. So when the Quran says, look at the signs of God's mercy, we have to say, look, Quran says everything, because wherever you look at, I look, will be what meant in the verse. Because it doesn't say, look at God's mercy, don't look at the mountains, or don't look at, I don't know, the South America or something. Or don't look at the insects. It doesn't say, look at the God's mercy. Everything. Everything. So it means everything comes into existence as a result of mercy. And I'm challenging you, you cannot dispute that. The Quran must be read in this way. You cannot dispute that. Every particle is under the will and command of the Creator to exist in order to deliver, carry the mercy of its Creator. Read this way, the Quran. Read this way. Do you follow me? Am I clear? So Quran challenges means this. You cannot prove, you cannot bring or come up with Any idea we challenge that, there is no mercy in the existence of these particles or something, or the moon or the sun, or I don't know. So we have to check. It's a challenging. Everything in the Quran is everything is like that. Must be understood in this way. So when you look at this, you will see the mercy, and one of the aspects of the mercy is how He gives life to the earth after its death. It means nothing else in the universe can give life to anything dead, but only the one who created the universe. Nothing can be the source of life within the universe. Everything is created with life by the creator of the universe. The things are created by Him, life is created by Him, and everything is given life when they were dead. We have to understand this. So comes then, most surely He will raise the dead to life, because He is the giver of life. Look at this. So what we have to do? We have to just, how do you say, pull our sleeves. There's an expression in English. How do you say? So roll up. Roll up your sleeves. Go to the lab. See the fact that how life comes into existence. Like everything else. Quran says, I, because the Quran is the speech of God. God is the one who creates the universe. So I, the creator of the universe, am responsible for the existence of life. And you see that dead things are giving life. Think about it. Dead things are giving life. There are other further explanations about this subject in the Quran, other verses, but we are studying this verse now. So how can you say that I cannot raise the dead to life again? I am the one who gives life to human beings, who gives life to dinosaurs, who gives life to flies, insects. I am the one who gives life to plants, because you cannot attribute the existence of neither the matter nor the life of the living beings to anything but the creator of the universe. You cannot explain their existence. It's a challenge. So if someone says, after we die, we can't, it comes to our mind. But I questioned a lot this matter. I'm going to be raised again. The Facebook, how come? Is it really? But the Quran says, look at your first existence. Where did it come from? How come that you had life? Huh? Yeah? The one can give you another life. Why not? Promises, because he gives us the desire, and a very strong desire, to be alive, to be young, to exist as a living, conscious being. And if someone says, okay, I'm going to give you a life for 1,000,000 years and then annihilate you, you say, okay, we are saved our life now, okay, because I was expecting to die at the age of 18, 90 or whatever. I used to say 60, but I'm over 60. I'm extending the time for myself. So I'm starting now from 70. I used to say over 50 or 60. Forget about that. Really? Maybe I don't know. Check yourself, but I used to think in this way. So now I am over 60, then 70, 80 years. And now it is extended to 1 million years. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's assume that you lived 100 years, 100,000 years, 200,000, 800,000. Young, not old. Young. Okay. When do they come? Tomorrow, the 1 million years is going to be completed. What will you do? Make it 2 million, please. Why not? You can make it 2 million, but you will have the same thing at the end of 2 million. That's how human beings are created, with this very strong desire to be given, to exist with no end. We don't consent to, or we are not happy with the idea that one day will come, my health will disappear, my youth will disappear, I will disappear in existence. You say, no, I have to be perfectly happy in my existence. And when? No end. No end. So it is a sign that he will give you the life for eternity. So he says, how can I know? For example, there will be a day of resurrection, there will be a day of gatherings, hashr in Arabic, in the language of the Quran. Everybody will be resurrected. Get ready for the resurrection day. You will be taken into, especially when we talk about the hereafter. What is the main topic? You will be taken into account for every single thing you did in your life. I don't want that. So run away from thinking about resurrection. Maybe, no, it's not really possible. It's easy for every human being to find a way out from responsibility. So when the teacher says, you are going to have an exam next week, and the exam time comes, if the teacher says, the professor says, I postponed the exam, hurrah! Everybody screams. We don't want to be tested. Yeah? There's a reason for it. Prepare yourself, etc. But we should not hide from establishing the foundations of belief in the hereafter by frightening people, scaring people with the accounting day of judgment. Why don't we use it? Yes, it is a day of judgment, but it is the beginning of the eternal bliss, eternal happiness. Don't you want it? And the one who gave you life here promises you that he is going to give you the eternal life forever. Yeah? خالدين فيها أبدا. When we don't really think that is it really possible or not, we are panicking now. The accounting, giving an account. That will be, if you have a company, if they receive you a letter from some minister saying that your company will be audited. Everybody says, come on, now we have to work at a high speed, whatever. But we don't think that. How do I explain it to the youth, saying that, look, you are going to be given an eternal life. It is possible. The reason is here, very simple. The Quran says, look how the one who created the universe gives life to gives life to dead earth. Now, the trees are dead, most of the insects are dead, and they became, for example, that's very simple, eggs, seeds. You see nothing. Yeah? Seeds. The tree is there, the fruits and vegetables you eat, the plants are dead, you throw them, trash. But seeds are there, saying, don't worry, don't worry. This is the guarantee paper for you. Yeah? Don't worry. And the Quran says, look at how I am creating. All living beings are, when they were dead, I give them life. And that's how I'm going to create you again. Why do you really deny it? Why do you really suspect about it? You are suspicious about it. Why? Here I am demonstrating in front of your eyes. And this creation is nothing but the creation of mercy. Why? Who bargained with God? The Creator. That if you create me, I will worship you. Something like that. I just found my existence here freely given. Just mercy. Yeah. When you come home, what do you want? Let's say the last version of whatever this smartphones. So waiting for you on the desk, saying that this is a present. Oh, it's given to you. What did you do for it? Nothing. Who can say that I did something for my existence, for my life, for my human qualities? No one. No one. So who paid for the sun, for the moon? I don't know. For the earth, for the water, for the sea, the mountain, the earth, with the soil. Who paid for what? Nothing. Nothing. We say that life is very difficult. We have to struggle. We have to fight. You don't have to fight for your existence. You didn't have to fight for your own human qualities. Nothing. How can you say that this is not mercy? How can you? I'm giving you out of nothing. Free. Present. So see yourself, your very existence is the proof of the mercy in existence creation. This is the sign. So the same merciful one promises you that he will give you an eternal life. Same merciful one who gave you your life here. So we have to be very, very conscious of this reality of our existence. It's not a simple matter. So the verse is so simple, eh? It's very simple. Look at the signs of Allah's mercy. It doesn't say, believe in me. I'm going to do it. If you don't believe, the time will come. You will come to me and I'll take you into account and you will see what I can do. No, not like that. Look at my mercy. How I am dealing with the world. And I am promising you that I will create you again in an appropriate form for a new type of creation. When you were a fetus in the womb of your mother, didn't I create you appropriately to the conditions of your existence? Didn't I? Were we not comfortable in mother's womb? We didn't complain. And we died. As far as our life in the mother's womb is concerned, what happened? Here we are. Oh, the baby is born. Everybody is there. Your mother-in-law, father-in-law, from wife's side, from father's side. Everybody comes. I came here to help the baby. They love it. They love it. If you ask them, no, I don't need you. They say, no. We will take care of it. They love it. So, from one side, the baby died. from one type of life and given an appropriate equipment to carry on their life according to the conditions of this world. Now, this world is for me, for you, if you really think about your expanded human senses, you will find yourself that you are in the womb of not mother, but the world. You need to die in order to be born into a world that all your aspirations, expectations will be fulfilled. I want eternal happiness without taking an exam, going to the office from 8 o'clock to 5 and listening to yes sir, and then worrying about if you were going to be laid off. So the economy goes bad. Oh man, when am I going to be fired? No, we don't want that, do we? This is the desire, promise. And we have to be given. We need to be given, because if he is not going to give, why he would prepare our senses for the eternal happy life? I didn't ask him to give me the desire for the eternal life. Did I? Did you ask? Did you bargain that if you are going to create me, you have to equip me with these senses? Otherwise, what creation? No, it is freely given, mercy. So I need this life, and this world is not enough. This world doesn't satisfy me. And he made the life so easy. So as you live in this world, you start getting old and your eyes don't see, you are dependent on glasses, and your ears don't hear properly, your taste, your teeth fall out. Oh, I don't want this. I don't want this. What do you want? I want to be young always. This desire is the promise. Yeah. Otherwise, my Creator would be contradicting himself. Do you understand that? And I don't see why he would contradict himself. Give the desire, not fulfill it. But don't you see that in the mother's womb? I have legs, but I don't need to walk. I have arms. I don't need to walk. I have mouth. I have stomach. I don't need to use that. Yeah? But they are there. Why? Prepare. Prepare for the next world. Now I am prepared for the next world with my emotions, with my feelings, with my expectations. It is sure, don't worry. Don't be afraid of taking into account for your every single action. Just trust God. He is the merciful one. Be thankful to him. Be thankful to him. Don't ignore him that he is your Lord. Don't ignore. You don't worry that I'm going to sin. If you have this consciousness, it is impossible to sin. When you sin, that was called the sins, because the consciousness doesn't have confidence in yourself. This lack of confidence makes your life lacking the consistency in the type of life that we live. I understand the foundations of belief is weak. Instead of supporting, fortifying, or strengthening the foundations of faith, we usually hear that you have to do this, it is forbidden, it is ordered, And because the foundations are not very well established. So only after frightening, scary descriptions of hell that I start, it may be true, you never know, I have to pray there. Because the account will be really severe. But result, this is the result of the belief. If the belief is strong, I don't need to be frightened at all. I look for any opportunity to be thankful, to express my gratefulness to my Creator. I don't need to be frightened. Just everybody knows that in Islamic tradition, you have to pray. You don't need to tell me even that I have to pray. One example is enough. Because I'm looking for an excuse to express my gratefulness to the mercy of my Creator. So all these frightening speeches, reminding the hereafter in terms of accounting, is not human. Not human. It is not teaching. It is just exploiting human weaknesses. It's not the way to teach what the Quran is teaching. Yes, Quran says fear of God's punishment. Correct? If you know who God is, you never disobey. If there is a disobedience, it means it is because of the lack of something in your belief system, not confident in your heart. Yep. So start from the root cause. If the tree is not giving fruit, can you just force the tree, give fruit here, put here? No. You have to solve the root. It's not working properly. It's not getting water or something, or not enough nourishment, mineral, whatever. The root cause is the lack of belief. And the Quran establishes the belief, and unfortunately, we don't talk about belief. We don't talk about belief. We talk about the result. This is forbidden, this is obvious. Somebody wanted to say something. Yeah, let's start from ladies, if you don't mind. Would you say? Now I will use my hand.
No, I don't mind.
You see, gentlemen, take it. Okay.
We were talking about Christians, and I have a little question.
So
in our
you have-
religion, if we love.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I missed. I don't understand everything properly. You said I am
okay.
over 60.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and also not native speaker. You know that. You know.
We were talking about Christians.
Yeah.
And I have a little question. In our religion, if we love.
What do you mean with our religion?
I mean, in Islam. If we
Para
love,
Islam.
if we love for the sake of Allah. If we hate for the sake of Allah.
What do you mean by all
Can
these
we-
languages? That I'm very, how do you say, alien to this kind of languages. You say, for the sake of Allah, did you say?
Yeah.
Why?
My question is, can we
No.
love?
Why? First, the
Why
foundation of the question is not clear. Why do you say for the sake of Allah?
I still didn't ask.
What
the
does it
question.
mean?
She was saying, if we love for the sake of Allah.
Well, what does it mean?
What does it mean?
Just a minute. Let her
God's
explain.
pleasure.
She can explain herself better than you do, don't worry. So what I am doing here, just don't repeat
Okay.
the phrases you heard. Yeah? For we Muslims love Allah for the sake of
No.
or we love for the sake of Allah. That's not a question, I know, but these are the fundamental things that we are struggling to establish here, because when you say we love something, we love for the sake of Allah, what does it mean?
We want God to be pleased with us.
With one God?
we want God to be pleased with us.
So, God doesn't need your pleasant. What do you want? But God is the creator of your sense of pleasant or pleasing something.
Pleasure.
No, I'm making it hard for you because we have to learn how to speak in the name of Islam according to the teachings of Islam. Don't imitate certain vocabulary. We should learn this. I'm not blaming you. I am just pointing out what is missing. Foundations are missing. We speak just by memory. So why do I say that I want to please God? Where did you get this idea? What do you mean by ask yourself? You are an intelligent person. Ask yourself, when do I say I'm going to please God? What does it mean? God will be sad when you do something. Oh, you made my day today. So carry on your question. Don't be disappointed. But I am just pointing out that please, don't just narrate what you heard from people who take religion for granted. Okay, now carry on. You are free. Okay. I'm sorry, huh? We should understand each other.
My question was, can we love Christians for the sake of Allah?
Who are they? Who are the Christians? Look, in this class, only this class, we mentioned that we cannot talk about people, but we can talk about the quality of the idea that these people assume the title. For example, a man, let's say, performs music, loves music, makes him a musician. But when he invites you, oh, man or woman, you may say, no, I am not going to accept a man invites me, so I'm a girl or something like that. When he or she invites you and prepares a nice coffee and offers you, what do you do? Do you take or not? Coffee. Sorry?
Yeah, okay.
You take it. But you may not like the music, but coffee is not the music. You may not like his or her music, right? But coffee is not the music. So when we speak like this language, with this kind of language, saying that, do we have to love the Christians? It is meaningless. The question is meaningless. I'm not saying you are meaningless. You are being just, no. This is meaningless. Do you have to ask the question, can we love the idea that God incarnated? No. I cannot say the ultimate, the absolute one can incarnate. I'm sorry, sir. But this man says, come on, let's go and get on my car and I'll take you home. We say, okay, getting on his car or her car and giving you a ride to your home is not God's incarnation. So we should watch out for our language. So you promise that you will come to this class at least a couple of years, and then you will understand that all the language I use has no root. Imitation. Just accepting with a good intention, not bad intention, but no root. It doesn't last. No. Maybe you may say, okay, I'm a Muslim, I'm practicing, whatever, but when your child and your grandchildren, then your religion will disappear. Because it can't stand. Because every generation questions it. And more, every generation will question it. That we know that the human beings are getting more and more liberal, free-thinking, questioning, not imitation. That is the trend our Creator put. So we have to prepare ourselves. So the language, the question, the valid question would be, if you agree or not, tell me. Can we love the idea which constructs the Christian worldview? No. To people, maybe a person comes to you, and if I ask you, for example, you are wearing a scarf. If I ask you, where is it made in China? They are atheists. You are friends of their production? No? You contradict yourself. We contradict ourselves everywhere. Maybe your glass is definitely made by non-Muslims. Yeah. So your, for example, dinner, I don't know whether you had dinner or not, but the breakfast, lunch, and dinner today you had, they're most probably produced on farms run by non-Muslim farmers. You are loving them, don't you? We should be careful. We should be very careful with our language. Never repeat. Question. Definitely you have a profession, something. Studying, do you? Are you? Yeah. You have a profession. You when you go to the class, there is a textbook, and when you read the textbook, do you memorize it? Do you imitate it? Or do you make sense of it, understand it, and expand it? Which one?
The last one.
Sorry?
The last one.
The second, yeah? All right? Why don't you do it in your religion as well? Question the vocabulary. Question the terms you are using, we are using. I'm not being personal. You too. You can question the terms. It was me. Yeah, Ali, never imitate. Never imitate. If you really carefully follow, but maybe somewhere, but in our classes, we are always sensitive about biased, pre-assumed terminology. I have to be convinced as a human being. So you are welcome anytime. You can ask any question. It is not a blame. It is not really accusing you, but we have to wake up. That is enough. We have been sleeping over 1,000 years. We have to wake up. Stop imitating. You cannot imitate anything. We cannot, we should not. We have to come with our own reasoning as the Quran presents to us. Quran speaks to human beings. Quran doesn't speak to people to hypnotize them, make them confident in their belief. We have to learn. Inshallah. Next Wednesday, I would like to see you here. Right? Inshallah, if your time and conditions are okay, because we need to train. We need to train, especially those people who get or receive education like yourself. Yeah. Somebody says, "Well, we're tired." Yeah.
I'm awake since 6 in the morning.
Yeah. So watch out for Wednesdays. Get a good sleep before you come to this halakha. Okay.
I understand this might not be the scope of this class today, but could you please provide a summary of the foundations or fundamentals of belief and what is the best way to teach it, especially to young children?
I have to go home, make a curriculum or prepare a syllabus, which may take 5 years. Would you promise to come for 5 years? It's not easy. You are asking a very general question, which is, excuse me, You are new, you are halakha. Welcome. I think you are new. Yeah. So this one is new. I would just tell you, you want to get whole paradise in 1 hour. Religion and the Quran is not. Methodology, the main teaching, the crux of the teachings of the Quran is very simple. There is no deity at all in this universe but the creator of the universe. Explain the existence accordingly. Very simple. But when you get into the teachings of these fundamentals of belief, 6,276 or something verses, all related to belief. And we are having 1 or 2 verses a day in a week. You can imagine 6,000, it means 3,000 halakas or discussions we have to have. From one aspect, the foundation is very simple, not complicated at all, but to educate your feelings in every aspect of your life. Yeah, I appreciate your desire. You want to learn it, but what's your profession, if you don't mind? Profession. Attorney. How many years have you studied to become an attorney? How many? A quarter of a century? Yeah, 25 years, 24 years, right?
Yes.
To become an attorney for 24 years, so that you will act in this world as an attorney for another 30 years, and then you will retire and die. For 30 years life, you spend 24 years to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself not for 30 years, eternal life. How many years do you have to prepare yourself? Yeah. Yeah, never ending. So that is a good desire, but since you are an attorney, I would say it is a cheap desire to get it in 5 minutes. You are brilliant, otherwise you wouldn't become an attorney. So you have to make sense of it. What am I asking here? It took 23 years. It took Muhammad, the prophet, who was ready with his questions. What is going on? What is going on? What is the meaning of this word? Crazy. And then, okay, you are the one who can receive the answer now because you have the questions. If he comes and speaks to me, I have no question. So I wouldn't appreciate the answer. So he received, and his training took 23 years. We don't have the questions first. First, we don't have the questions, and we are not ready. And even though we want to have not only 23 minutes, we have only 5 minutes left. And asking this, it means you are not really contradicting and doing something wrong, but this is the disease of the Muslim community, to take the belief system so simple. So, is it something like going a greengrocer shop and buying a pound of potatoes or something? It takes at least half an hour. I have to go through the through the education. It took Prophet 23 years. So I'm not saying you are doing something wrong, but that is the cheap way of treating religion. We have to. I don't know. You studied so many years. I've been studying more than half a century. I started the religious education at the age of 12. Crazy about the Quran. And I'm 66. Yeah? And I don't claim anything that I learned, but only, alhamdulillah, thank God, I feel really confident. Yeah, well, no problem. If someone says tomorrow the death angel is coming, bye-bye, salam, welcome, peace be upon you, come. I'm ready because I don't mind. I don't mind getting out of this womb of the world. I don't mind. I will be very happy. Yes. But make sure. Now, it doesn't mean that my belief is guaranteed. No, no, no. After over that half a century, then you start feeling really confident within yourself about this is not the matter of only belief in God. This is a matter of belief, the 6 pillars that Islam presents or summarized in the form of 6 pillars. It is, if you like, from 6 different perspectives that your existence is guaranteed. If you like, front, back, right, left, up, down. Is it? Your existence is really now substantial. You know what you are in. From believing God, from believing angel. It's a great, great subject. Anything related to belief is a great subject. But we cannot say that we believe in angels. Yeah, what are they? The Quran says that there are angels, so we have to believe. And do you believe in the Quran? Yeah, why? The Quran says that I am from God. You go crazy. It just circular. Circular. Life is not cheap. Life is given to us all with wonderful qualities to know the source of our own existence. Get acquainted with him. All the human qualities. It's not cheap. It's not simple, but it is not impossible either. But unfortunately, we spend a whole life to get for me, to become a partial slave of the payroll. Partial slave, not 100% full-time slave, part-time slaves of the payrolls. We don't see any obstacle in doing this job. We go to the office, sit there, and do the work we are asked to do 8 hours. We don't get at all bored. Even we get bored, we look forward to salary that we are going to be paid. Yep. But when it comes to religion, as the Imam goes up the pulpit and starts speaking, we start, whatever he says is right. If only stops in time that I will go to office. And then start, Fatiha, and then Allah, Assalamu alaikum. And what is that? You know, Alhamdulillah, I performed by obligation. Excuse me, sir. It is nothing but hypocrisy. I'm sorry. That's reality. That's reality. We are created to know the source of my existence, not to become a part-time slave. But we will do some job. It's all right. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm a part-time slave as well. But we are not created to become part-time slaves. That will be our side work. The main work is on the way, of why I'm studying, doing. Always concentrate on the fundamentals of belief. How can I put them into practice? What does it mean for me? What do they mean for me? All these questions must really surround me. How do you say? Not surround. Encompass me. Always I will be with these questions questioning. And when you read the Quran, Quran said, I'm going to guide you. Guide you. Quran means go this way. And I will say, I went there. You will find this. You will go and find it. What? Don't say that, okay, if you go this way, I will go. I will find it. Did you go? No. You didn't go. It doesn't mean that you really follow the Quran. You are imitating the Quran. Imitation is not following. Imitation is not taking lesson from it. The teacher says, for example, whatever teacher says, I gave this example, that's the only thing I know from mathematics. So the teacher said 5 times 5 makes 25. Go home and say, Mom, you know what I have learned today? 5 times 5 makes 25. And the mom says, oh, really? It's good, you know. Did you really understand why? And the teacher says so. No, it is appropriate for 4 years old, 5 years old child. No. Not 25, 30 years old adult. They laugh at you. We laugh. Yeah. When you defend somebody, I don't know what's your specialty, none of my business, there's no need. So you say, because this man is nice, please judge, you know, whatever, you know, leave him free. You have to give reason, huh? You have to explain. Explain, reason, bring all sorts of evidence, as much as you have. So convince the judge or the jury to decide in the for the benefit of the whatever the person you call them client, or not. You don't say client. How do you say the one you defend?
Defendant.
Sorry.
Defendant.
Defendant. Yeah, defendant. Yeah, but reason, eh? Give always reason, eh? Don't you? So when it comes to reason, religion, you just list it. You just list. You know, I believe in God, in the angels, and the Quran is the word of God, the books and the prophets, and the hereafter, and then the judgment of God's divine determining, and that's I have completed my belief. Listing. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. But if you say that no, it works for me. That's enough. It's up to you. It didn't work for me. No, I think it doesn't work to any rational being. But unfortunately, that's how we are trained. In fact, we are not trained. We are hypnotized. We Muslims believe Muhammad is the best man. Even in the 100 men listed, Muhammad was the list as the best man, as a what? As a very wise man. He knew how to treat the Arab Bedouins. He's a very clever politician. Nothing to do with prophethood. And we are proud of this. I'm sorry, that's an idiotic defense for Muhammad. He's not a philosopher or he's not a sage man. He's a prophet. Bring his message from your creator. You are categorizing it, putting, these are the lists of apples, put orange in it, and say that this is the best apple. What are you doing? He's not really a philosopher or, I don't know, a person with a moral leader or something. He is the message bearer, representative of the message or representative of the message. His category is different. He's not a philosopher. His category is different. You cannot really list them under the names or, I don't know, category of apples. There are the 100 different apples, okay. But he's not an apple, he's orange. Even that simple thing, I have never seen anybody in New York aware of this. I'm sorry. What are you? We are proud of it, don't you? No, didn't you hear anybody say, why are we talking about this list? He is the best, the number one man in the list. It's irrelevant. If someone says, you are an attorney, but the best doctor is you. What will you say? I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor. Why do you put me in this list? what am I going to do there? We don't know where to stand even. If someone just simply says that Islam is the best religion, the fastest growing religion, so, oh, mashallah, Allahu Akbar. That's stupid. We have to wake up. Bismillah. This man is dying, you know. Why don't you bring your wife so that you want? I have to go. I'm tired. Okay, you are right. You are right. We are supposed to finish at 8:30, but these verses are so exciting. You know, when I study the verse, I become younger than you. I don't want to go. I don't want to sleep. But okay, you are right. I'm sorry, sister. I'm tough, I know. But that's the only way we wake up. You know, you say, mashallah, sister. You know, I know, I'm sure you never miss your prayer. Alhamdulillah, you are also well covered. Oh, mashallah, barakallah. May Allah give you a long life. It's just cheating. You have to study the Quran. I can challenge you, you know nothing of Islam. I'm sorry. That's just tradition, culture, not really what the Quran teaches. Wake up. Wake up. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Thank you, Jazakumullah. I'm sorry, 1 hour,